Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock exactly here in Columbia. I don't know, that makes it 11 o'clock wherever you are if you're on the East Coast, and then I'm not going to go figure out the rest of the time zones, okay? One of the first things I came up with is the head of the Oath Keepers, which were deeply involved in January 6th, was pardoned, I don't know, a while ago, not recent, not in the last couple of weeks, it was a while ago. And now he says he's reforming the Oath Keepers to be Trump's personal, he says protectors, but I think it's more like Trump's secret police. He wants to be head of Trump's Gestapo. I don't think the guy should get that far, but, I'm not going to, sit around and make threats or anything like that I can't do anything about because I don't live anywhere near him. But I can say this, just shows you that Trump's released some real whack jobs out there. And those people should be watched very, very carefully and should be considered dangerous, Kind of stupid to do it. I mean, I've seen several of them have been arrested, the ones that were pardoned, for various child sex crimes and other crimes, that just makes, these guys are basically criminals. This guy's a sadistic, he's sadistic. I don't know what else I could call him. He's not, I don't know whether you call him insane or not, but but he has a level of sadistic in him that would rival some of the interrogators in the Gestapo back in the 1930s, in the 40s. So here's hoping, that Trump's smart enough not to allow that to happen, but I doubt it. Trump's not the most, like we've proven in the past, Trump is definitely not the smartest light bulb, or the brightest light bulb, rather, in the box. Let's see, that takes care of that little thing. Okay, now, our relationship with England on a, I'm going to say military and intelligence level is in the toilet right now, thanks to Trump shooting up the Caribbean, killing 76 or 78 people, depending on which news agency you read, and absolutely offering no proof that these were drug boats that he shot up. Now, I don't know whether they are or they aren't. It's the fact that there's been several of them on both the east and the west coast. I mean, the profit in bringing drugs in is so great that there's young people out there that are, crazy son of a bitches that are willing to risk it all to do it. Now, there are also people out there that might have a kilo of coke on their boat because they're coming up the coast to fish or something like that, legitimately, and they're just trying to get, making a little extra money out of their fishing trip. There's a lot of reasons there people are out there. I don't think there are any straight up luxury. There could be a couple of people racing, to Bimini. But I'll tell you this, that if they're coming out of Venezuela, and these are high-speed, what they call go-boats, they have I don't think they have the fuel capacity, unless they've added fuel tanks to them, to make it to Miami, if that's where they're headed. The thing about them shooting up these boats is they don't know where they're going, and they just assume that they have some information comes to them that they're drug boats. Well, that's how you get rid of people too. Once you realize that these guys will just shoot the boats up if you give them the information, so they give them information and the boat gets shot up. Maybe they didn't want the boat shot up. Maybe they wanted the people inside it shot up. I don't know. I don't trust anything that's going on down there right now. If they can spot them that easy, they can intercept them. They don't have to destroy them. Okay? But they don't want. They want to destroy them. They want to send the drugs to the bottom of the ocean. Oh, they succeeded in sending whatever cargo was on those boats to the bottom of the ocean to the extent that they can't prove what was on the boat, and that's really a dangerous situation down there. It's more like these are more like assassinations, uh, and it's justice. But they're not armed. They're not shooting at these people, at anybody. They're just being blown out of the water. There's something wrong with that, morally and maybe legally too. I just don't trust Trump when he says they're drug boats. Because I think Hegseth would be crying if they were drug boats. Him and Musk, because there's a couple of drug addicts. They'd be crying if those were drug boats. So would a lot of other people. And I don't know anybody up there right now to ask this question of, but I'm assuming that if they're all shipments of drugs, that somebody in the Caribbean someplace, some dealer or something, is crying the blues because he's got no product to sell. And that would be, I haven't heard anything really upset. I haven't heard the prices jumping, skyrocketing. I haven't heard the level of crime rising, so I really don't know. I'm not sure. I just don't trust anything Trump tells me as being the truth, or anybody in his administration tells me. I don't expect it to be the truth. I don't even expect it to have a element of truth involved in it. All right, so that's the first. And apparently, we're using UK. We were using some intelligence from the UK for that, and the UK has just stopped sending us that intelligence because they don't want to be involved in what is being called murder by a lot of countries. I mean, it's if they're actually drug boats, I got no problem with it if they have conclusive proof other than the fact that somebody said they were. You know what I mean? If they have conclusive proof that they were drug boats, hey, you took the risk, tough shit. But I don't think they can, and I think it's a difficult thing to prove, and I think that they've made some miscalculations in that, and they might have killed some innocent people. But I'm not sure one way or the other. So we lost the UK intelligence. They're not giving us any intelligence from that anywhere. That puts us at risk for that part of the world, especially since they just moved the biggest aircraft carrier in the world and the most powerful ship in the American flotilla to the Caribbean in preparation for what could be an invasion of Venezuela. And I will tell you again, Venezuela being invaded by the U.S., by Trump, has nothing whatsoever to do with drugs. It's all about the oil. He wants the oil. And they're telling, they have the largest oil reserves in the world that have never been touched. A lot of it has never been touched. So you have to wait and see what happens there. I don't think that the country's going to get like that if they come in and try to take over the oil reserves. And you don't want to go into a guerrilla warfare in Venezuela. All right, it just doesn't work out right for the troops that go in there. You don't have enough experienced jungle troops to do it. I don't care if you send 50,000 down there. You got to understand that our military, for every combat soldier we send into combat, there are 4 soldiers required to support that troop. A minimum of 4 military personnel that has to be involved to support that. So you send 50, you're sending to send 50,000 combat troops, you have to send over 200,000 men down there. You get my picture? That's what happened in Vietnam. Too far. 6,000 miles. You put everything at risk of ours that's down there by doing that. So that takes care of that part too. And we lost the intelligence, so we have no intelligence in the area as to what's really going on anymore. because we don't talk to these people. And you put the screws to Colombia, and now they don't want to talk to you anymore. You know, you're making my life a little complicated, which I don't appreciate. And should it get complicated, then I become an enemy of the state by force, because you forced me into it. I have to make a decision whether I'm going to go home or stay here, and right now I like it here. So you're forcing people down here to make decisions that they shouldn't have to make at this time in their lives, you know. There are no young kids running around down here partying. They're all retired one way or the other, you know. Okay, next up, dealing again with England. Now, MI5 is, they're part of their intelligence operation. MI6 is, I believe, is the one that's got the James Bond situation where they can have licenses to kill and whatnot. I'm not really sure if it's 6 or 5 or 6 or which of these. It's ascending or descending order. But anyhow, MI5, our good FBI director, Shithead Patel, who has absolutely no common sense when it comes to anything. That's why he fits in so well in the Trump administration. He embarrassed himself in front of these people really bad. This isn't the first time he's embarrassed himself in front of other law enforcements. He's using his jets to go on his government jets to go on dates and whatnot with his girlfriend. He just considers it to be part of the job, you know, flying around the country, screwing whoever he can screw, doing whatever he does that he does. Fortunately for us, there's some agents still doing their job, you know, even though their leader is a Trump sycophant. Well, you know what I'm saying. And so he's out there doing his thing and ruining his reputation in the world as a law enforcement officer. You know, when you're a thief and a crook and incompetent, you have a tendency to. But if you work for Trump, you know, you're pretty much untouchable. Nobody's really going after him. The Senate doesn't care. You know, he's not investigating the Senate, and they're all pocketing tons of money down there. You know. And I'm sure some of the Democrats are getting some money out of this, making money out of the fact that the incompetency of the government. They may not be making it on the federal level, but they're probably making it on the state level. The senators and the congressmen are ripping off the states. You know, the money that's supposed to go to the states is going for, who knows, cheeseburgers, pizza, whatever, you know. It's just the way it is. Okay. I'm done. So, you know what that means, doesn't it? Don't you? That means I ask you to please hit the subscribe button. Or at least the like button. You know, at the bottom of the video. Doesn't do anything for me financially speaking. It just makes me feel good. I get all tingly inside when I see a new subscriber or something like that. And I don't know all your names yet. It's difficult for me to, other than screen names, I don't know any of you personally, or, you know, and I still have the gentleman in jolly old England over there who keeps throwing me comments every day. I didn't realize I said so much that he could comment that much, you know, but that's okay. You know, he likes what we're doing, and I like, you know, the fact that he's willing to go out and write something. And, you know, I'm assuming he's real, but that's debatable. You know, I think it's a problem that everybody's going to have sooner or later is determining whether your fans and your followers were all real. And it's a determination that YouTube has to make, because if they're going to say, well, you have to have so many followers or subscribers in order to monetize your site, how do you know how do they know if they're real or not? You know, because people can do that very easily. You know, if I had any brains, I could do it, but I don't have that kind of brains, and I hate artificial intelligence. You know, I like real things. All right, well, that's it. Hit the subscribe button. Tonight's Wednesday. No football, no nothing. You know, I watch a little NCIS tonight. That's about it. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Ciao.